What is up, everyone? Welcome back. We are almost 1 week into the league right now. It's the start of day 6, and it's about time we upgrade our armor. So, today I will be covering a complete crafting guide on how to make your monstrous endgame armor, the one that we will be using for the rest of the league. Keep in mind that this is going to get crazy expensive, and I know that a lot of you don't have the necessary currency yet to make this type of investment, but I will also be covering some alternative versions that are more fitting for different levels of investment. Yeah. And also, of course, you can save this video for later in case you want to make this type of armor later in the league. Yeah, that's about it. Let's get into it. All right, so I prepared a stash tab with everything I will need for this craft. Like I said, it's crazy expensive. The content of this tab is probably close to 100 defines, maybe not quite there, but close to it. But before we get into this, I would like to cover quickly the budget versions, like I said initially. So if your budget is under 5 divines, what you can do is buy a grasping mail with the increased attack speed per 25 dexterity mod. Um, Maybe something like this one would be great. If you have two open suffixes, I would craft the can have three crafting modifiers, and then add something like increase maximum life and double resistances or dexterity or whatever else you're needing, and this by itself should be a pretty decent armor. What you can do on top of that is use a lesser Eldritch Ember on it, and then re-roll the prefixes using an Eldritch Chaos Orb until you reach some decent prefixes like high armor roll or higher life roll. And after that, add your bench modifier, your crafting modifier to it. Another thing you can do, especially if all this crafting thing seems a bit too complicated, then you can just put a grasping mail and a legion plate into the recombinator and just try it like that. You cross your fingers and YOLO it to hope for a good result. This can definitely work and it can definitely save you a lot of currency, but I'm not really sure what the success rate would be for something like this. I would imagine is pretty less than the version that we will be using. After you transferred your breach modifier to the Legion plate or the base armor of your choosing, you can do the same thing, use a lesser Eldritch Ember on it, and then re-roll the prefixes using the Chaos Orb, and then on top of that, use the crafting modifier. And that should give you a pretty decent armor. The only thing that it won't have is the essence modifier that makes you take 10% reduced extra critical damage from per endurance charges, which is really strong because we'll be having 7 to 9 endurance charges later on. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Uh, yeah, that's about it for the budget version. So what I plan to do with all the currency in this tab is attempt to transfer the increased attack speed per 25 dexterity mod onto the Legion plate. The reason why I chose the Legion plate is because of the strength requirements. It would have been slightly difficult to reach 293 with the rest of my gear, so I chose to settle for a Legion plate. It has around 200 less armor, but it shouldn't be that big of a problem. So after I transfer the attack speed mod onto the Legion plate, I will attempt to fracture it. Fracturing, of course, has 1 in 4 chance to success. Now, all the currency that I have here is slightly above the average that you would need for this type of craft. So hopefully, I won't need to burn through all of it and I can sell the remaining ones. Worst case scenario is I don't get the desired armor, but that's just fine as well because then I can just alter 4 and see you in the next league. So yeah, back to the craft. After we successfully fracture the increased attack speed, then we will use a Essence of Horror to get the reduced extra damage from critical strikes mod. And for the third suffix, we are aiming to get additional physical damage reduction. In average, for a tier 1 roll, we need around 60 to 70 essences of horror. For a tier 2, if you want to settle, you would only need about around 30. But since I'm investing so much in it, I might as well go for a tier 1. Um, a tier 2 needs an average around 30 essences. A tier 2 needs an average around 60 to 70, which is close to 10 divines. Yeah, at the current price. After we reach the desired suffixes, we will then use an Eldritch Ember, use the Eldritch Chaos Orb to roll a tier 1 armor, preferably. We would want basically increased armor and then flat armor, and so we can craft our third mod on it, which is probably going to be block, because I need that block to spec out of some block nodes. Yeah, that's about it. After that, we will use a tailoring orb to get some more increased armor, but that's just a plus. And after that, of course, we will be 6-linking it, but everyone should know how that is done. Um, yeah, that's about it. So I would like to touch upon how we will transfer the mod. We would use a somewhat deterministic version that makes it so we have a 50-50 chance for every recombination to give us the mod on the Legion plate. How we are going to do this is by using these Shaper Exalted Orb, or whatever else influence Exalted Orb you want to use. How this works, and I'm not going to go too much into details because it's really complicated, but what you need to know is, for this to work, you need 3 prefixes on the mods, and you need for the suffixes to have one breach mod, so the attack speed has to be the only one, and then you can add a influence exalt orb, so the resulting item would be 3 prefixes, the breach mod, and the influence mod. Let's just go ahead and do this one. So this would be the ideal item. This one ensures a 50-50 chance when we use the recombination. A short explanation about this is it's a 50-50 chance for either base when you use the Recombinator, and because we have 2 suffixes, it forces one of the suffixes onto the Legion plate. The reason why it's going to ensure the breach modifier is because the second modifier, the Elder one, needs an Elder base. So it rolls 50-50. If the Legion plate rolls, it will absolutely take the increased attack speed one, because it's not an Elder base, so it can't take the other one. That's a short explanation. I would link the Reddit post with all of the complicated details, but this is what you should remember. Now, this means, of course, that you will need multiple grasping mails to reach the necessary outcome, which is this. Most of them are going to be somewhat like this, so you will have 2 breach mods. This is not really acceptable unless you want to go for the YOLO version, where you just put them and hope for the best, cross your fingers. But like I said, that probably has a low chance of success. So what I would do when buying one of this armor is just try to annul the second breach modifier, which is the last one, the one with on the toll. So let's make a quick example. I will annul this until it loses, hopefully, the other breach modifier. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, I completely bricked it. This is no longer usable. I will be replacing it. I don't think I can sell this for anything. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why this version is expensive. The second part is you might reach a part where you have 1 breach modifier, but you have 3 suffixes. This is also not okay. You need to annul at least one of the suffixes out. Let's try for this one. And this one also bricked, so that's like 6 divines in minus already. But anyway, you will reach something like this, where you have three prefixes, which is great, and two suffixes. What I will do now is craft cannot roll attack mods and then try to annul the second suffix. Like I said, all this you are doing to reach this final version, which would be three prefixes, one breach modifier, and one influence modifier. This is the version that you want. Yeah, that's about it. I'm going to go on and try to craft this one. All right, so this is how I would proceed to remove the second suffix that we don't want. We will add cannot roll attack mods, which costs one divine. Craft that on top, and then annul. Hopefully, it will remove the second suffix, not the cannot roll one. Let's see. It actually removed the prefix. I forgot that's a thing. That's a possibility. I'll keep going. And we succeeded. This is a actually perfect outcome. Now I blocked the third prefix. Use anything for that. So this is another perfect item. We have three prefixes, only one suffix. That means we can add a influence mod like this. And now it's ready for the Recombinator. Let's actually do our first try. We want to use the unpredictable version, which is this. 100% chance for success. I don't know exactly what that 100%. I mean, obviously we will get an item, but hopefully it's going to be a Legion plate. Let's see. Okay, so first one is an absolute bricked. This is no longer useful. All right, second try. Let's hope for the best. And another brick. And it doesn't really even have the attack speed modifier, so another brick. All right, so this is our first successful transfer. I bricked 3 or 4 so far, so it's going definitely a lot less well than I would have expected. So it's time to brick a fracturing orb. Let's see. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Okay. Second attempt. That's cool. Now we will be exalting and then using another fracturing orb. Let's see if we're lucky this time. No, of course we're not. Okay. Third attempt. Let's see. We got it. Fantastic. God damn it. I even wasted one fracturing orb by mistake on one of these. Anyway, good thing I got it. Now I don't have to spend this shit ton of currency. Now we'll move on to the next step, which is spamming essences on it. Let's go. All right, so now that we have our fractured armor, this was the hard part actually. I got it in 3 fractures. I wasted a fracture by mistake on a grasping mail because I wasn't paying attention, and that's it. That's what happens. But now we will move on to the next step, which is enchanting it, actually using essences on it until we reach a tier 1 additional physical damage reduction. Like I said, in theory, this should be enough. Now, we may be lucky, we may be unlucky. Let's just see how it goes. There is a slight chance that I will settle for tier 2, but let's just see. So let's go. Okay, bad tier. Good, good mod, bad tier. This is tier 3, not good enough. Tier 2, okay. So we got tier 2 pretty early, but I'm gonna push it for tier 1. Yeah, why not? Tier 3 again. Tier 3 again. And we got tier 1. Absolutely fantastic. Now we can move on to the next step and craft our prefixes. Okay. Looking nice so far. So, what we are going to do now, use a Lesser Eldritch Ember. Bam. And now we will use our Chaos Orb, Eldritch Chaos Orb. Always make sure that you have a Lesser Eldritch Ember and not the Eater one, because that will reroll your suffixes and break your item. So now let's try to get some tier 1 armor roll on it. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so tier 1 life. That was kind of unexpected. I'm considering keeping this. Yeah, let's just keep going. All right, so double tier 2 armor. This is not bad actually. This gives 3k armor. I could just call it a day and stick with this. But yeah, since I invested so much, it would be a shame to settle at this point. Let me just consider it for a moment. All right, so after considering keeping these, I decided to keep going. It's probably a bad idea, but let's go on. Maximum life again, tier 1 life. This is not bad, but not what I'm looking for. Okay, tier 2 armor. I think this is worth on a null. Let me just check the price for Eldritch Annulment. Actually, what am I talking about? I just rolled over 2 tier 2s. Never mind. Let's keep going. Okay, let's get some tier 1 armor. Come on, baby. Yeah, this isn't looking too nice. Okay, so tier 1 armor. This is the point where I will try to annul it. Let's see how successful I am. Alright, so after some consideration, I decided to do something stupid, which is try to use a Veil Exalted Orb on it. For this to work, we have to block suffixes and then use it. Let's go and waste some more currency. Let's see how this works. So, oh, I don't have it. Suffixes cannot be changed. I don't have it. So, where is this Obus Curbs Trove? Okay, so be right back. Alright, so we are back. We have the craft now. What we are going to do is block suffixes. Suffixes cannot be changed. And now we're going to use a Veiled Exalted Orb. This has a 50-50 of removing my armor mod. Hopefully it doesn't do that. Let's see. Now normally I would probably block a veiled mod, but since I have to use suffixes cannot be changed, I can't also block the mod. So let's see and hope for the best. Let's see. And oh my god, we actually removed the correct mod. That's actually pretty amazing. Now, We are hoping to get the attack block one. Oh, actually, hold on. I can block the mod now. I am kind of stupid. Never mind that. Alright, so I am going to block armor and spell damage. I mean armor and life. Uh, this should be somewhere here. Yeah, this is it. So I'm gonna block this. Normally increased armor would be something I like, but yeah, the life would break our passive, so let's just replace that. Okay, now what we would like to see is one attack block. The second good one would actually be increased armor during soul game prevention. That doesn't sound that good, but we are actually using Molten Shell on cooldown. And while we have Molten Shell, we have 900 armor. So while we don't have our Molten Shell and it's loading, we're gonna have like 4,000 armor, which is pretty freaking amazing. So yeah, let's unveil it and hope for the best. Let's go attack. Attack block. Let's go. Let's go. Chance to block attack damage. We did it. Yes. We freaking did it. Bam. And that is it. We have our perfect armor. I'm now going to craft some armor on it. I think it's our moor. Let's go. Bam. Bam. Let's get a 320. 319. Yeah, that'll do for now. I'll come back for that later. It's actually quite a bit of range. I don't know if I have enough chaos now. Alright, so now we have our almost perfect armor, tier 1 armor, chance to block attack damage, which is great. Normally, like I said, I wouldn't go for this. I will instead go for another armor node, but with my simulation and with the jewels that I have, I would actually need this block chance to make sure I'm capped, and it would allow me to drop a lot of block nodes. So this is very nice to have. Now, what I'm going to do next is use a tailoring orb. Hopefully 10 of these are enough. I don't know if I have enough currency now to buy some more, but I can just sell the leftovers. What I'm aiming to get here is a increased armor implicit, which is pretty rare, but let's see if we can get it. The reason why I'm using the tailoring orb before I actually socket it is because that can break the socket, so be aware of that. Okay, life modifiers, we do not want that. 2 white sockets, nope. Attribute requirements, yeah, no. Life modifiers, no. Life modifiers again. Oh, life and resistances. This is great, but not what we need. White sockets again, no. So we have defense and no green sockets. This might be bad, but then again, I can use a I can use the omen that gives me white sockets, so it might not be that bad. But for now, I'm going to keep this. Alright, so after doing some quick math, I realized that using blanching omens is actually going to be more expensive than just rolling tailoring orbs. Tailoring orbs are 30 chaos right now, blanching orbs are 50 chaos, and that's not a problem, but it's kind of hard to get 3 white ones, or even 2 of them and 1 blue. Yeah, it's kind of unlikely, so we're just going to keep tailoring until we get some different explicit defense modifier magnitudes thingy. And we got it on the second try. Not bad at all. Alright, random disconnect, but yeah, that seems to be about it for crafting the armor. All tier 1 mods, except for the crafting modifier. I will be divining this at some point to get 9% chance to block, and will also craft it until I get 320 armor. Now I will be using the Eldritch currency to get the correct implicits. The ones I'm using are the same as my current armor, which is melee hits have a chance to fortify and increased effect on uncursed auras. Okay, so a few hours later, this is the final product. So it cost me a small fortune, but I'm really glad I did it. I even divined it, so it's almost perfect, 107 out of 110. But yeah, that's not worth spending another 5 divines on. I'm really glad I got this done because this is usually about the most tedious part of the league for me, crafting this armor. So I'm really glad I got it over with. Yeah, that's about it for the armor. Okay, so that's about it for today's video. Really hope you enjoyed today's crafting session. And for tomorrow or this weekend, I plan on releasing another video with showcases. I plan on doing tier 17s, simulacrums, maybe doing some digging in the delve because I haven't really gotten to that yet. I want to see how far this character can push it. And yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed this video or found something useful in it, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to drop a like and leave a comment if you have any type of questions. I will do my best to answer. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.